As we get started here, I want to remind you all what the Pro Tips webinar series is all about. The Pro Tips webinar series is meant to be a bunch of features of our app that are things that we feel are maybe a little underutilized, and we want to tell you some more about, give you some more information. They're supposed to be 30 minutes or less, easy to check out really quickly. We do try to inspire you by showing you some of the more creative uses that we've seen in our features, and we also share the recordings on the same day. So if you can't make it to one of these, no worries at all. We send them out on a variety of platforms on like LinkedIn and of course through email and a couple of social pages as well. So what is the topic today? Today, we're going to be talking about food and beverage. We're excited to get going on that. Just to remind you before we get started though, what's the goal of having a mobile app? You're not just trying to put content into an app and then hope that maybe people come in and use it. We're trying to make it so that users can have a really great experience at your particular facility and make them download the app so that you can have a bigger audience to send out messages to, hopefully get more people on facility and make some more money, of course. That's what it's all about, right? So without further ado here, let's go ahead and get started on our food and beverage section. So today's agenda, we're going to go through a couple different parts of the food and beverage and a couple different options. First, we're going to give you some background on what it's all about. Then we're going to talk about Gallus Ontap, which is our click-to-order F&B software. Next, we're going to be going over the view-only menu section, along with some places to promote F&B, some creative ideas for that. And then at the end, we're also going to go over any questions that you guys might have. So you'll notice in your window that there is a Q&A box at the top left. If you have questions throughout, feel free to throw them in there, and then we'll make sure to go over them at the very end. So let's go ahead and get started here, shall we? The first thing we're going to talk about is some background on F&B. What is F&B, and what are some parts of the app that you can use it in? F&B, really, to us, you have about 3 options to use it. The first option is Gallus Ontap, which we're going to go over in some more detail up next here. It's really like a click-to-order, tap-to-order F&B module that users can come in and they can place their order in the app, and then it will send it to your F&B staff so that you guys can then fulfill it. You can also receive the orders through a variety of different methods, and you can require payment, or you can just use your POS when the users arrive to pick up their food. So the second option is a view-only menu. This is similar to Gallus Ontap in that people can view your entire menu. They can kind of interact with it to see some of their options. But then when they're actually ready to order, we can place a call button at the bottom that they can tap on to bring up the dialer on their phone. At this point, you can organize it into 2 levels. You can make them categories, and then you can put items beneath. And then, as I mentioned, you can do a call to order button and edit it through the dashboard too. The last option is an outbound URL. So we can put a button in the app for like F&B, quote unquote. We can take it to any part of the internet, I guess, if you will. You can put it like on your website. You can put it to go to you can definitely do that. We have a lot of people that use like Ontap for dining reservations and things of that nature. So we can do that. And also we can throw just a basic PDF in there if you really want to keep it simple, and also have a lot more control over the design of what the users are actually seeing. So that's another option that's available to you. So that's background. That's kind of the overview, the lay of the land, if you will. Now let's start taking a look at some of the more specific sections of the F&B software that we can do. Matt, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for letting me in. My technical difficulties today. I don't know what's going on. Must be full moon or something, but got in. right in time. So, yeah, thanks, guys. So yeah, I'm going to talk about our Ontap system. This is our tap to order food and beverage system. I'm going to give you just a general overview, just to give you a heads up. I can get a demo for this with you in under 30 minutes and go very detailed and make it very specific to your operations. If you want to go over this in more detail, I'm just going to give you a general overview of all the things that this can do and just get you an idea of how it works in general. So we're first going to start with the basically the customer side, how the customer views the menu and how they order. So essentially what it is a custom built food and beverage menu. It is, tap to order. What's nice is that we build the menu for you. It is a URL. So technically it is a mobile friendly URL that you can put on your website if you want to. You can also, most clubs, if you want to make it exclusive to your app, you can only find it in your app and you can't find the URL anywhere else. So it's completely up to you if you want to promote it on your social media and on your website to make it simpler for more people to order. It really depends on how you're going to be using it for, which I'll get to later. So you can have multiple what we call categories. These are the pull down menus. Like on the left-hand side, the soup and salad is a pull down menu. When you click on one or tap on one, it does expand to have more items underneath. So you can have multiple different ones with items within each one. And what's nice is you can have the sections can be very customizable. They can say whatever you want. They can be for food. They can be for drinks. They can be for pro shop items or, buckets of balls on your range. I've seen a lot of people use this for lots of different things, not just food and beverage. So it is essentially anything you want to throw in there. You can sell through this as well. Gift cards. I've seen a bunch of different stuff. So for each item, as you can see under there, like the chef's ginger and chicken rice soup, each item has its own 5 elements that are unique to it. You can have a photo if you want, which is optional. I typically recommend, especially in the mobile friendly version through the app, the photo can be a little bit too much, depending on, unless you have a lot of really nice photos of each item. The title and the description are more than enough typically. But you have to have a title. You can have a description if you want, but again, you don't have to. You can make it just, if it's a hot dog, you don't really have to explain what it is. It's just a hot dog. So the less stuff you have, sometimes the more things you can fit on one page to make it simpler. Then you have to have a price. If it says select, it means you have multiple different options within there that you select to make the price different. So if it doesn't have a price on the right-hand side, that just means that there's options, and whichever option you choose, then it gives you the price after the fact. But otherwise, you have to choose a price at least for one set price, if not multiple. And then you can have what we call options or add-ons, which is when you click on the item, you have, how do you like it cooked? Do you want to add a side? Do you want to add bacon to your burger, which can be either free or $1 extra? There's a whole bunch of different ways to customize how the actual options are. So that can get very complicated. Like you can say, yes, I want a side salad, and then it brings up all the different dressings that you get options for the side salad only if you choose side salad. If you choose fries, it doesn't choose that. It just gives you fries as your option. So lots of different things you can do there. So we build all this for you up front. Then I work with you to customize how you want everything to work out once we get it built for you. So common use cases. These are kind of the most commonly used practices for the Ontap system. One is pick up on the turn or after a round, basically just advertising to your golfers to be able to pick up food at the turn shack or at your normal restaurant, however you guys do it. This is probably the #1 use case that we have for sure. Just simple placing the order ahead of time. I'm on hole 8. You can have a pop-up in your app saying, don't forget to order food on the turn. And it pulls up the menu right away. They can tap, place their order, pick it up, and pay for it right when they get there. Makes it just simpler so you don't have to receive a phone call, any of that kind of stuff. The second one, if you want to get a little bit more fancy, delivery on course. This works really well, whether you have a cart person that's doing delivery or just you want to set up your own delivery in general. Start doing it, without doing a cart person, just doing food delivery. Delivery on course is also great for those other pro shop items, balls, sleeves of balls, gloves, sunscreen, hats, things that people lose or need more on while they're on the course too. It works out really well. Another one is just regular to-go orders. Whether it's, to-go orders for your local area, like if you live in a community with a lot of people come and get food anyway, curbside pickup and delivery as well, not just on course, can also be for local area. You can set designated zones where you can deliver to if you want to. And then the last one is outdoor seating. a lot of places have added outdoor seating, whether it be tables or just areas where people are set up to eat. And a lot of times, because of just location of where your restaurant is or where your kitchen is, it can be pretty far away. And to make it simple, so you don't have to send out a server to take the order, then come back and then bring the food back. You can basically just have a QR code sitting on the tables, number each table with a big table number. They order the food and the food gets brought out. This works really well. I've seen also work for driving ranges. If you're going to do, a driving range, like if you have a TrackMan system or something like that, that works really well too. Now, here are some other customizations you can do. I'm not going to get into each one of these individually. I'm just going to let you know how you can customize a lot of different things in your menu. So again, you can customize the button on the home screen of your app, what it says, whether it says order food now, food to go, tap to order food, or just says your restaurant's name. It can be whatever you want there. You can have multiple different options for either pickup or delivery or both. Everything is also customizable by time. If you only want certain items or things, showing up at certain times, you can have a happy hour menu that only shows up on Wednesday between 3 and 5. You can also have an item that's only shows up on Fridays between 6 and 8 p.m. So everything within each item and category is customizable. You can have multiple locations. You can do order for now or order for later. You can have customizable questions when you check out. This is a big one. People, if you have certain things that you wish you could ask the customer before they finish their order, you can say, like, especially if you're doing delivery on course, what cart number are you in? What hold number are you on right now? So it's easier to find you. If you're a private club, what's your member number? Do you want to charge it to your member account? Do you want to pay with a credit card that's on file? A lot of different things you can do there. For if you're doing curbside, what kind of car color type you are, what kind of shirt you're wearing, all that kind of stuff can be customizable. You can also add a tip. You can add delivery fees or order fees if you want to, that 100% go back to you. And then coupons. Coupons are big because coupons can be for one item, every item, certain categories. They can only be like, if you spend a certain amount, they can only be good for certain days. They can be, only good one per customer, or only one per, twice per customer, but 100 times total, or only good for like a week. So completely customizable options there for coupons. And then the very last thing that I'll touch on for the Ontap system, on the customer side, is they can either choose to pay, or you choose for them whether you want to allow them to pay with a credit card in the app that they can save to the app. And that way, next time when if they create an account, it has their credit card saved. All they have to do is click check out again, and it charges their card right there. Or you can set it up to pay there, which would be pay when they come to pick up the food. And that is something where then you basically, use your own POS and not have to use another cloud processor to do that. Or you can have the option of both. They can either pay pay with the credit card in the app, or pay when they get there. The one system that we use in the app itself is called Stripe. If you've ever heard of Stripe, go to stripe.com, STRIPE.com. They basically charge you a flat fee. There's no monthly fee or yearly fee. It's a flat 2.9% off every transaction plus 30 cents. And you can choose how you're going to get the money delivered into your own bank account, whether it's every single time that a charge is made, it gets delivered to your bank account. You can set it for certain days. You can do it at the end of the week. You can do it once a month, or you can do it once you hit a certain amount, or manually, like whenever you need to help your accounting team that way. So Stripe works really well, and it's super easy to integrate. Once you have an account with them, which takes about 5 minutes to set up, we can set up and add it to your account with Ontap within 5 minutes as well. So you have options. You can change it up on the fly. If one doesn't work, you can change it if you want to change it later. Now, here's a couple screenshots of kind of what the menu looks like as well. This is the item details, is the one on the left. It just shows you all the customizable, how you can have different sizes and different sides. Options can be either a pull-down menu or checkboxes. You can have multiple different sides, and you can choose like 2 sides, and from the list that you have there as well. You can also have in that item description, you can have not embed pictures right there, plus also videos or PDFs. If you have a full menu, I've seen people do it for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. If you have a set menu, you can put that in there, and that way you don't have to create a new one. Just upload the PDF into that item description and have all the different options underneath there. Like if you want to choose dessert, entree, appetizer, all right there. And then the middle one is your what we call the cart or shopping bag. That just shows you what the customer is going to see before they proceed to checkout, to make sure they have everything ordered correctly. It's going to have all their fixins and sides right there. And then it will have, as you can see there, an online ordering fee. That is something that you set up and you customize if you want to have that. And that goes 100% to you. That doesn't go to us or anybody else. That's for you if you want to add that on to help offset the cost of the system or any processing fees that you get added on. And then the third one, the one on the right, shows the customizable section on checkout. So that's a checkout screen. The member info can say anything you want there. The title can be anything you want. And then below, those questions can either be a typed in question, like member number. They actually type in their number. It can be a selection where it says hole number. That selects what hole that they're on. It can also be a checkbox, or it could be what we call a radio, which is they only can choose one option of the options available. And they can either be mandatory. If they have a star next to it, means they have to answer it before they can check out, or it can be optional, where it means they can answer it or they don't have to. So that's up to you. So that is the whole front end of the app itself, basically for the customer, how they are going to order the food and how you can customize it for them. This is now, I'm going to go over how you receive those orders once they place the order, how it gets to you in your kitchen or your restaurant, however you guys are working it in your food and beverage system. So the number one and easiest way to get the orders is through, we have an iPad app that basically takes all the orders and puts them all in one place. If you look at the one on the left, that's going to be your dashboard, where basically you can turn on and off ordering very quickly. The upper right, where it says enabled, you can turn on and off ordering. Like if you get too slammed and you're too busy, you don't want to accept any more orders, it'll just turn off the menu so people can't place new orders. You can also change the ready time. You have a default ready time of, say, 20 minutes, which is what it shows right now. If you get really busy, you can change it to 45 minutes. So the next person that places an order, instead of it saying the food's going to be ready in about 20 minutes, it'll say 45. And you can toggle back and forth between pickup and delivery in case only one of them's backed up. But then it has all of your orders all in one place. It shows which ones need payment or which ones have made payment already, so you know. And when you click on them, to the screen on the right, it shows you what it shows. It has the full order details, including all the questions that you asked will be at the very top, plus all the different menu items they ordered, plus all the options. And then on the right, you can change the status. That's for you internally to know which ones are being prepared, which ones are already being delivered or picked up. And then you can send a text message directly to the customer when the order is ready for pickup or being delivered. This is kind of the best part about it, is that you can interact with that customer and let them know right there, hey, your food's ready, come and get it. So that's a great option to use for the iPad. Other options we have to receive orders that you can use concurrently with the iPad app, or you can use independently all by themselves, or that you can use just those ones. You can get a email to any number of email addresses that just has the order. So this works if you already have, say, a Android tablet that's not an iPad, and you just want to get the orders. You don't care about communicating with them or changing anything on the fly. That works because you can just basically have an email, go to that tablet, and get all the orders there. You can also have a text message. It can go to your manager that's on duty. He gets a text as a backup to make sure that you know you have an order. It has a link to a PDF of the receipt that you pull up in your browser on your phone. Then you can also get a fax, or you can do a phone call, which I would never use. But the last one that works really well for a lot of people is you can use a receipt printer. We have 3 different options for receipt printers, which are on our website. You can use a Bluetooth one that connects to the iPad, or you can have one that connects to your network and just prints automatically. You don't have to touch anything else. It just prints, and you can set the number of prints. If you wanted to print 4 times and have one go to the kitchen, one go in your drawer so that somebody can punch it into your POS, and then put one on the bag and one to the runner, you can have it print 4 times every single time you get an order without having to do anything else. So again, everything is completely customizable. You can try it one way. If it's not working, switch it up, try it a different way. Most clubs usually have it set one way and then end up switching once at least to try to make it work for them. So it's totally 100% how your operation works, and we can get it to help you guys out there. We just want to make it as easy as possible for you guys. Get the order paid for, and get the customer out so that you can make more food and make more money. So that is Ontap. There is a whole lot of other stuff about that. We can go into way more detail, but that's just a great overview of that. The view only menu. This is something that is built into the Gallus dashboard of your app. So this is something that is already included. It's not an add-on. The Ontap is an additional fee, but it is something that, it works depending on how many locations you have. But the view only is 100% included in the app that you already currently have. So this one is great because it can have a picture as like on the left here. It can have different categories as well, where they have pull downs for different categories, where you have breakfast, lunch, or specials or drinks. So it's basically you have a category, which is the pull down, and then the items within that category. So As you can see on the left, each item has 4 components: a picture, again, which is optional. We have a bunch of built-in generic pictures you can use, or you can upload your own. A title, which again can be very basic, like hot dog and chips. A description, which again is optional. On the ones on the left right now don't have a description, which I think makes it look a little bit cleaner and easier to have more items all together. But if you want to include descriptions, like you can say beer, and then you can list all the beers that are available instead of having each beer be a separate item. And then you have a price, how much it is right there. What's nice is within each item, you can also include in the description a phone number, which will work. And like you can put hours. I've seen people put like the very first item is always the hours and the phone number. If you have multiple different locations that you're showing the menu for. But the nicest thing that this includes is a click to call button at the very bottom. So as you can see, it says call, and that actually will bring up the phone part of your customer's phone to call. I know most people don't use it for that, but your phones actually make phone calls still. I've seen them. It does work that way. So you can assign it to whatever phone number you want, whether it's, your main club or if it goes directly to, the restaurant to make the place the order. This is great so that people can just place it right there. Don't have to look up the number themselves. But if you have multiple locations, like you have a halfway house and a restaurant, you can list the phone number for each one under an item as well. And it's clickable as well. So this is something where we will help you build initially if you want to with some either generic pictures or you can upload your own. But this is something that will have to be maintained if you do make any changes on the fly. You do have to go and edit this, but it is very easy to do in the dashboard of the Gallus of your normal app. So that is everything about view only. I'm going to kick it back to Kyle now to go over kind of the last little bit.
Perfect. Yeah. And just to kind of chip on to what Matt was saying there, at the end of the day, you should be, if you have an F&B operation, your app should have some form of a menu in it.
Yes.
We, of course, are partial to our Ontap system because it's pretty slick. You can go in, you can place orders and everything. But we understand that a lot of people just want something very basic and they don't want to do anything too crazy with their staff. At the very, very least, we should have some sort of like a view-only menu or a PDF in there, something like that. So Absolutely. If you're looking in your app and you're seeing that you don't have anything, but you'd like to, just shoot us an email to support@gallusgolf.com, maybe with a copy of your menu, and we would be happy to get something in there for you. That's what it's all about for us. So with all that being said, I just wanted to kind of towards the end of this go over some places that you can use within your app to actually promote F&B. So really in the app, there's obviously a number of modules, F&B just being one of them. What we want to do is we want to kind of try to use them all to lean on each other and maybe promote the other sections so that users know all about them and all that good stuff. So one of the sections that comes to our mind first, Matt already mentioned this, but putting up a pop-up within the scorecard and GPS section before the turn, prompting users to view your menu. Sometimes all they need is just a little nudge to get in there and actually check out your menu to place an order. Some users are not going to have the foresight without that nudge to actually check out the menu and get the order in before the turn, which could result in, some pace of play issues and all that. So this is a great option for you. Another thing that we recommend is maybe putting in a featured news item. That's that bar that shows up at the top of your home screen, like we talked about last week. It's a spot where you can put some news or some announcements or something like that. It's a really great, easy way to put some information about what your F&B offerings are. Maybe you have some new items that are coming up that you want to throw in there, or maybe it's just some straight up directions into like, hey, our snack bar is kind of hard to find. Here's how you find it. Stuff like that goes a long way for the user experience. Kind of on the same note would be push notifications. A lot of you are familiar with push notifications, but I feel personally that it's a huge opportunity for a lot of apps to be able to go into push notifications and maybe send out some different pieces of content other than just, hey, book a tea time with us. Maybe you want to promote other spots within your facility that people can utilize. And it's not just about F&B, obviously. You can be promoting membership or lessons or even just an event that's coming up. But F&B, if you have a new dish that you're adding to your menu, go send a push notification about it. It's going to remind users that, one, you have F&B, but two, you have a new menu or a new item on your menu. It's a great way to do it. Totally included in your app, and it takes you about 30 seconds when you get pretty good at it. So might as well do that. Lastly, the offer locker. We are actually in next week's, 2 weeks from now's webinar. We're going to be talking about targeted offer locker and some of the great creative uses for that. But offer locker is kind of like an app only deals and specials section where people can go in, they can see what's offered to them, and then they can actually redeem it and show you the coupon directly on their device. A lot of people use it for golf, but why not do something for F&B too, to maybe push them to go and maybe place an order there? So that might be an option for you as well. If you're interested in hearing more about that, Matt's going to throw a registration link for next time into the chat box so that you can register for that one. So here we are at the end, just under 30 minutes here. I've kind of been checking out the Q&A section. Doesn't look like anybody has added anything in. So just in case someone is maybe typing something in there, I will once again mention next week is going to be our targeted offers. 2 weeks from now, our targeted offers webinar. We'll be talking about that. Really excited to go over some of the more creative uses here. But just to kind of summarize, F&B is a huge opportunity within the app. A lot of people think about the app for golf and promoting tee times and maybe even memberships. But we're excited to help a lot of you get F&B set up for this season so that that side of your revenue stream can be even more robust in 2021. I'm very excited. So anyways, if you have questions, you want to learn more or something like that, Matt included the webinar slides in the chat box. You can view our help articles. We're very proud of our knowledge base. It's just support.gallusgolf.com. If you want to talk to Matt a little bit about something that you want to maybe get added into your app, maybe it's on tap, maybe it's just a PDF or something like that, you can also book a review call with him there. And then if you have some other preference of a way that you want to get in touch with us, maybe you want to do a chat on the Gallus manager, maybe you want to give us a ring and actually talk to someone on the phone, we'd be happy to do that as well. You could feel free to use any of those methods to get in touch with us. So I think with all that being said,
no questions.
We can probably shut it down here. So thank you all for coming. We, as always, we appreciate your business. We're looking forward to seeing all of the great stuff that you do with your app in 2021. And we'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming.